Hi everybody, welcome to what will be, I guess for this class anyway, my last video on production. And I think I got the microphone problems corrected. And after probably more than 72 hours of work this week on this Unreal map, this is what I've produced. Now the idea was for like a interstellar galactic arena, and if you saw my entertainment video based on this map, you saw the music and the videos I would have put into it, but even after I made the scripts for it, they still didn't play. But from what I've seen on the internet, that's not unusual. Okay, as you can see, I've made 4 separate areas. Each one has 4 spawn points, so a 16-player death match is possible, and all players have vehicles, and you can play with bots as well. Some areas have custom terrain, some do not. I did the best I could, but between the engine's rendering time and my computer's heat, I just did the best I could, as we all did. I wanted to kind of use the same kind of theme like my first mod app for Unreal, kind of a stunt thing with vehicles, but now with real combat. And basically you have to climb and jump to get to each area, which I thought would be a kind of fun, neat trick or difference than most Unreal. Steep climb, but I lowered the gravity to make it a little easier, and you can have some nice fun jumps like that. Now if you notice in this area and a lot of the areas, the lighting is a little bit like washed or washed out, or oversaturated. This is because, well, I don't really know why exactly, but when you run the light mask, it just takes an awful long time. I was, even on medium level, I was getting 6 to 9 hours. Ridiculous with an 8-core, 4 gigahertz computer, and a 2 gigahertz, $300 video card. But that's what it took. I tried production, but after about 7 hours, I was still at like 2 to 4% done, and I just gave up on production level lighting. Also, every time you move any object, it asks you to redo the light, which is preposterous in my opinion. But that's the way Unreal Engine works. At least that's the way it worked for me. As you can see, the bots work fairly well. I found the AI not the smartest, really. Sometimes they use the vehicles, sometimes they don't. But, like most people, first-person shooters are not, it's not my best game, but, as you can see, the bots can give you a challenge, depending on your skill level. There was that one guy, I think his name was Goliath. He actually got in the vehicle. This is the mountain desert region, and it's actually got a pretty decent texture on the mountain, but because of the light, you can't really see it. I got custom mountains, nice custom tower there. I used the same like bunker spawn points as I did in the original Unreal mod that I made. And this is an expansion. This one here is actually the original one, but I expanded it into a tunnel area, which I thought was pretty neat. Originally I thought maybe you could drive tunnels across the different maps, but the way the Unreal Engine allows you to move objects, it's such a pain to line things up straight. You would think it looks like in the case of the ramp, on one hand, one piece, when you're moving it, looks like you got it lined up. But then when you move the camera angle to look on the side, and you find out it's nowhere near lined up, even though it appeared lined up from the one side. And sometimes the item would actually be halfway on the other side of the map, even though from one camera angle it looked like you had it perfectly lined up and right close. Ooh, really got that guy. Uh, and this is a checkboard level. The reason it was checkerboard, well, I deleted the original texture and then kept trying to add another one to it, but it just wouldn't stick to it for some reason, so I couldn't even bring back the original texture. And as you saw in that one, I have some, in that area that I have some custom trees. Tried to make a forest. They look more like plastic Christmas trees, but it's the best I could figure out. I know from Unreal commercial games that, I mean, you can have trees with blowing, pine cone leaves perhaps, but in 7 days I just couldn't figure out how you do that. And here's one of the steeper ones I made. Look, the way that I wanted the world to look is kind of like the arena was on like Jupiter, a gas planet, and these 4 platforms was the only thing actually on the planet or in the gas, and so I actually made a double sky dome, so it would look like when you fall to your death into the gaseous area, and there is a kill zone. So because as I know with the original mod, you just fell forever. And there's those plastic Christmas trees again. And I put some, I don't know what they, corn stalks there. Now originally, like I showed in the entertainment video, you'd have an intro cutscene, and after that, when you get here, I was like kind of floating in the air between the different bases. There was going to be a big slab of concrete, which I would use for a giant TV, and on both sides, I forget his name, but it was in the entertainment video version of this video. The Let's Get Ready to Rumble from boxing and wrestling. So it'd be kind of like, I think it was in Unreal Tournament 1, they had like video displays on the walls of buildings as the game started in the intro. Kind of just like, let's get ready to rumble. Start of the arena tournament combat. So in a way, this is kind of like my outer space version of Unreal Tournament in a way. With stunt tracks and cars. And I think other than the lighting and textures and videos, for the most part, I think it's a pretty fun map to play. When I played, one time I played it on godlike mode for the AI, and darn if they didn't come within 1 point of beating me. Now imagine this with 16 human players, all running around quickly, smashing into each other, doing jumps, shooting each other mid-jump, making jump videos, post them to YouTube. I think this would be pretty darn fun. With a little more work. I mean, if I worked on this for a month, I bet it would be a great, I couldn't sell it, of course, being it's Unreal and I don't have the rights to it, but I think this would be a pretty good fun map for people that actually play Unreal or Unreal Tournament for a long period of time. They get a lot of kicks out of it. Unfortunately, I don't know anyone currently, friends or whatever, that actually play Unreal Tournament, so I didn't do a lot of playtesting, but other than that, as you can see, I believe it would be a lot of fun. Because some of those, and the bots, even them, I mean, they surprise me sometimes. I got ganged up once on when I played test where like 3 of them actually came out and tried to kill me. Now there are some strange behaviors for them. Either it's more complex than the standard AI, but like I said, sometimes they don't even get into the vehicles. They will not, as far as I could tell, any of them drive up any of the ramps. Could be because it's a non-standard path in or something like that. And again, I'm new to programming or scripting AI, but that's the best my brain can logically think about it. They're just not programmed to go up ramps. And so, I mean, that's what I was thinking. But with more work, I mean, say if I worked on this a month instead of 7 days, allowing for heat in the darn 14-hour sometimes light mass, and that again, it could be because my ears is so open spaced. It's just a heck of a lot of work for the light mass to calculate all the math for the lightings and vortexes and shadows and things I won't actually go into that I barely, get though through my years of decades of playing in modern games. I recognize and come across the words. So it's not totally new to me. It's just like I said, I stay away from scripting and programming, generally speaking. So I just click the button for the light mass and cross my fingers and hope it works, pretty much. But darn, I really wish the videos would have worked, because I actually I actually emailed Bink, and unlike all the big corporations like EA and stuff, they actually within 5 or 10 minutes wrote me back. As far as figuring out if well, when I first made the Unreal mod, I mean the first assignment, the videos kept becoming Bink 2, which is version 2 files, which Unreal doesn't support, and it only supports BIC 1 files. And I talked to the guy in email, and we wrote back and forth for like 30 minutes. And he actually helped me solve the problem. So I finally was able to import him into the game. But for some reason, even though based on the websites, and I went to probably 50, the Kismet scripts had them all set up, just wouldn't play. Of course, some of the websites I went to were talking about iOS with the Unreal UDK playing videos, so I'm not sure if the Kismet scripts that I picked, I put together were exactly for PC, but it's the same engine that the iOS games were made in, so I don't see why it wouldn't function right. But some sites say it would work, some say it wouldn't. As you can see, I made some nice views because of the altitude and the double sky dome. And might be a fun sightseeing trip too. To go to this intergalactic arena. You see, the idea. I mean, the bots should climb up there. Can you imagine with 16 players and all chasing after each other up the high ramp, and you look down and like there's 15 players trying to shoot at you, or 2 teams of 8, and post your scores online, leaderboards and stuff. It still needs a heck of a lot of work, but I think this is a great idea. Until I figure out the light mass, though, I would never want to really use Unreal again. It's just too much trouble. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and see you in my next class if you're with me. Yeah!